Hi there. Welcome back to Very Good Yoga with Billy. My name is Billy, and for today's class, make sure you have 2 blocks at the top of your mat. And then you might need a strap for a bind. Let's get started. Let's come into a neutral tabletop, please. So we're going to start in all fours, hands and knees. And the first thing I want you to do is press the palms down into the floor, so it's almost like you're doing plank pose in the upper body. Your biceps roll forward, your triceps roll back. And then we'll come into 3 rounds of cow and cat. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart, look forward, and please come into cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, drop your head and your tailbone down. Twice more. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, look forward to come into your cow. And on your exhale, round the spine, drop the head and the tail. Last one like that. Inhale, look forward, cow pose. And on the out breath, press the floor away and lift the belly up into the ceiling to come into your cat pose. Come back through neutral. And without changing the position of your hips, begin to walk your hands forward for Anahata Asana puppy dog pose. So, ideally in a perfect scenario, you can get your chin down on the floor. But if you're a little tighter in the shoulders, maybe a little tighter in the throat, you could keep your nose on the ground or maybe even your forehead on the floor. So this is the back bend. There's a little bit of cow pose happening in the spine, and hopefully you're feeling this in the shoulders as well. To come out of this, on your next inhale, shift forward to come into your Sphinx Pose. Lift the tips of the ears up into the ceiling. And as you exhale, lower to the floor and bring your hands by your shoulders. Tuck your toes. And for just a brief moment, move through a tuck-toed child's pose. So sinking your hips to your heels, stretching out through the bottoms of your feet. And then come back into your neutral tabletop position. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. And begin to straighten out the right leg more and reach your right heel down and back. Setting up for a 3-legged table, slow float the inner right leg up into the air. So you do this without doing anything funny in the pelvis. Walk your hands forward about an inch. And then tuck your left toes and send the right leg high to your 3-legged dog. So think about what you're doing on the floor. Press your palms down to lift the sides of the waist up and back. Maybe you can melt the left heel down lower, and on your next inhale, lift higher through the inner right thigh. Exhale, right knee taps the right arm. Look forward with the eyes. 3-legged dog, take a full breath in. Exhale, twist, right knee, left elbow. 3-legged dog is the inhale. Knee in between the elbows. Step the right foot forward and come into a low lunge. Lower the back knee down, and on an inhale, sweep the arms up high. So go down and forward with your hips in your low lunge. And just as much as you're going down with your legs and your hips, go up, off with the belly, up into the fingertips. Maybe even look up, see your palms touch. Inhale. Runner's lunge. To a pyramid pose is the exhale. Tuck the back toes and then straighten out both of your legs. And if you're anything like me, maybe you put blocks underneath the hands for support. Continue to keep the left heel lifted. And reach the left heel back to straighten out the right leg more. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, fold. Runner's lunge, rebend into the front right knee. And then downward facing dog, take it up and back. On your next inhale, look forward, shift forward to come into plank pose. And on your exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Untuck your toes and keep your hands by your lowest ribs. Inhale, low cobra. Reach the heart and the chest forward. So again, guys, this is a low cobra. You're not thinking so much up as you're thinking forward with the heart and chest. And the elbows are squeezing in. Keep the back bend and tuck your toes at the back of the mat. Keep the back bend, lift your knees, lift your thighs. Inhale, look forward. Listen carefully. Exhale, Chaturanga, just come up halfway. And then lower to the floor. We're going to do that again. Squeeze the elbows together. Lift your knees, your thighs, your shoulders. Inhale on your belly. Exhale, Chaturanga, come up halfway. And then lower back to the floor. Last time we'll do this. Elbows are squeezing in. Heels are reaching back. Knees and thighs are lifted. Inhale. All the way up to plank pose this time on your exhale. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Lower your knees. And let's begin to set up for this on the second side. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. And then I didn't cue this on the last side, but I want to ask that you firm the outer right hip in towards your center. Straighten the left leg more, and then slow float it up into your three-legged table. So remember, we do this transition without changing anything about our hips, our pelvis, or the lower back. Walk your hands forward about an inch. Tuck your right toes, and then send it up and back into a three-legged dog. So the left leg is still as straight as the left leg will be. Flex through the left foot. Reach your left heel back. Inhale. Left knee taps left tricep on the exhale. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Left knee, right elbow. Three-legged dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale. Knee in between the elbows. Step your left foot forward to your left thumb. Low lunge. Lower the back knee down, and on an inhale, sweep the arms up. Drift your hips down and forward. And just as much as you're going down, go up off of the back. Reach the fingertips up into the ceiling. Maybe even look up so your palms touch. Inhale. Runner's lunge to a pyramid pose as you exhale. Straighten out the front left leg. And remember, guys, this is going to be a variation to start. Keep the right heel lifted. But at the same time, reach the right heel down and back. So you use that action to straighten out the front left leg. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Runner's lunge. Inhale, rebend into the front left knee. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot next to your right foot. Inhale, look forward, shift forward, plank pose. And then slowly lower for 3. For 2, all the way down on 1. Untuck your toes. Keep your hands by your lowest ribs as you inhale, come forward into a Cobra pose. Just a baby Cobra to start. Squeeze your elbows together. Keep your neck soft. And then keep the Cobra in the upper body, but tuck your toes at the back of the mat. Lift your knees, lift your thighs. Inhale. Chaturanga, come up halfway, exhale. And then lower yourself back to the floor. Knees and thighs are lifted. Heels are reaching back. Elbows are hugging in. Inhale. Chaturanga, come up halfway, exhale. And then lower your way back to the floor. Last time we'll do this. Elbows hug in, legs are engaged. Inhale, look forwards. Plank to downward facing dog, send the hips up high. Okay, Bring your feet a little closer together and lift the right leg up into a three-legged dog. Flex through the foot, turn out the toes, bend the knee and open up your hip. So keep hugging the outer left hip in towards your center. And then what if I asked you to reach your tailbone towards the inner right knee? Inhales, lengthen. And as you exhale, right knee taps the right tricep. Listen carefully, three-legged dog is your inhale. Exhale, twist, right knee, left elbow. Ground down to the inner left heel and come into this variation of fallen triangle pose. So the right knee is bent, the right foot is flexed, and the left arm reaches up into the ceiling. If you ever want a modification for these side plank variations, you could lower the knee down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale the top arm forwards. Exhale, left hand down. Step your right foot to your right thumb, runner's lunge. Put your right hand on top of the right thigh. And let's find a prayer twist to the right. So the left elbow connects outside of the right leg. Straighten out the back leg more. Lift the inner left hip bone up. And then do the work of an up dog as you reach the tips of the ears forward. Full breath in. Look down and come into a supported warrior 3. So you grab your blocks and you put them underneath your hands the highest height. And what I really like about the supported variation is you can put more weight into your hands so you can feel what you're doing with the rest of the body. All of a sudden, it's a lot easier to straighten out the left leg more. Lift your shoulders higher than your hips and hug the outer right hip in. Inhales, lengthen. Forward fold is the exhale. Step both of your feet down to the floor. Inhale, flat back. Exhale is fold. Inhale, come up to stand. Reach the arms up. And then stay as tall as you are right now as you lower the arms by the sides for Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms go up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward into your fold. Inhale, long spine, even your neck. Keep looking forward. Step your left foot back. Runner's lunge is the inhale. Downward facing dog is the exhale. Inhale, look forward, shift forward into your plank pose. Chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, come up into your back bend, upward facing dog. Thighs are lifted, arms are straight. And then use your belly to take it back into your downward facing dog. Bring your feet a little closer together. And lift the left leg up into a three-legged dog. Flex the foot, turn out the toes, bend the knee, and open up the hip. Hug the outer right hip in. Roll the inner right thigh forward. And then could you reach your tailbone towards the inner left knee? Full breath in. And on your exhale, left knee taps the left tricep. Three-legged dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale, twist. Left knee, right elbow. Ground down to the inner edge of the back right foot for this variation of a fallen triangle pose. So the left knee is bent. The left foot is flexed and the right arm is high. For 5, 4, 3, for 2, inhale the top arm forwards. Exhale, right hand down. Step your left foot forward to your left thumb. And place your left hand on top of your left thigh. Prayer twist. Connect the right elbow outside of the left leg. Press your palms together and turn your chest towards your thumbs. Straighten out the back right leg more. Keep reaching your right heel towards the back of the room. Inhale the heart forwards. Look down and let's meet in a supported warrior 3. And again, I want you to put some weight into your hands. So all of a sudden, it's a little easier to lift and straighten the right leg. Lift the shoulders higher than your hips and keep your gaze down over the tip of your nose. Maybe all of a sudden you start to get light through your hands. Inhales, lengthen. Forward fold is the exhale. Step both of your feet down to the floor. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand, reach up, rise. And then keep the length, stay as tall as you are right now as you bring your arms into Tadasana. Keep it going. Inhale, Urdhva. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Keep looking forward. Step the right foot back. Runner's lunge is the inhale. Downward facing dog is the exhale. Inhale, look forward, shift forward into your plank pose. Biceps are forward, triceps are back, Chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale to your back bend, upward facing dog, straighten out the legs more. And then on your exhale, take it to a downward facing dog and take 5 breaths. Just a heads up, you guys, I'll probably modify quite a few of these vinyasas today. So if you see me doing something a little different but saying something else, that's why. Okay. Look forward. And meet me in a forward fold at the very top of the mat. Whether you hop, step, handstand, or fly. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand, reach the arms up. And then keep the length as you come into Tadasana with the arms by the sides. Okay, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, feet pressed down. Exhale, Uttanasana, hinge at your hips and fold. Inhale, flat back. This time prepares for Chaturanga. Keep looking forward. Keep feeding your heart forward as you step or hop, low push-up. Inhale, come up into your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, downward facing dog, 5 breaths. So really similar to what we did in that pyramid pose a few moments ago. Reach your heels down and back energetically. And as you reach your heels down, what if I asked you to lift your thighs up and your hips as high as the hips will lift? Inhale. On empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, spring, or step to a forward fold at the top of your space. And right away, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend into the knees, lift the heart and chest up. Look forwards, bring your hands to prayer with the heart, come up to stand. And meet me in a Tadasana with the arms by the sides. Surya B, bend into the knees, sweep the floor with the fingertips. Inhale, chair pose, belly to thighs, hands to floor. Forward fold is the out breath. Inhale, flat back, prepare for Chaturanga, look forward. Keep looking forward with your eyes in your chest. Chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale is your back bend, upward facing dog, shins hug in. And then take it to a downward facing dog with the hips up high. Step your right foot forward and come into a warrior 1, please. Inhale, brings you up to stand. And as you exhale, take it down into your push-up. So at the bottom of your exhale, inhale, come up into your back bend, upward facing dog. And at the top of your inhale, exhale is downward facing dog. Right away, step your left foot forward and come into warrior one. Virabhadrasana A, inhale. Chaturanga is the exhale. One breath, one movement. Inhales your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, take it to downward facing dog and find 5 more breaths. So even in your downward facing dog, there's this external rotation in your shoulders. So the biceps are rolling forward, the triceps are rolling back. And I always think this is a really weird cue, but try to turn your armpits in to face your face. And maybe just be grateful that this isn't how we walk around every day, with the armpits in to face the face. Wouldn't that be weird if that was like our normal, like an anatomical structure? Good thing it isn't. Inhale. On empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, spring, or step to a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend deep into the knees. Lift the heart and the chest up high. Look forwards. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Come up to stand. Tadasana with the arms by the sides. Listen carefully. Inhale, chair pose. Into your Kasana, crow pose. So what I'm going to have you do here is bring your big toes together to touch and plant your palms. Lean forward so that your knees are on your triceps. And then begin to press the floor away so much. It's almost like the floor is pressing right back at you. And if crow is something that's new for you folks, for today, maybe just play with rocking forward. So you can get your feet off the floor for a moment. From your crow, we're going to step back into warrior one. Left foot to the back of the mat. Right foot to the floor. Virabhadrasana A. Inhale, rise. And as you exhale, Chaturanga to lower. Inhale, find your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, take it back into a downward facing dog. So with that crow, I don't want you to overthink it too much. For me, I really think that is what holds a lot of people back from arm balancing. It's the hesitation. It's the fear that you might fall forward on your face. And it happens. Like it happened to me last night, if I'm being honest with you. I was teaching in class. It was going pretty well, and I ate it. Like, it happens. And it's okay. Let's do it again. Inhale. On empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, spring, or step to a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, inhale, chair pose. Bend deep into the knees, lift the arms up high. And then look forwards. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart, come up to stand. Tadasana with the arms by the sides. Last one, inhale, chair pose. Into your Bakasana, crow pose. Plant your palms. Put the knees in the backs of the triceps. Look forward, lean forward, and see if you can get your feet off the floor. So the elbows are hugging in. The inner thighs are hugging in. You're looking forward with your heart and chest. And then without even thinking about it, please step your right foot back and meet me in Virabhadrasana A. Warrior one, inhale. Chaturanga is the exhale. Inhale to back bend, upward facing dog. Thighs are lifted. And then take it back into your downward facing dog. Breathing here for 5, 4, for 3, 2, inhale on 1, on empty, look forward, bend to the knees, hop, spring, or step to a forward fold. This time I'll have you bring your feet 2 fist width distance apart. Take your 2 peace fingers and toe lock your big toes for yoga toe lock. If you're looking for something to do with your thumbs, press them on the yoga mat right in front of the big toe. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend into your elbows and keep your gaze somewhere at the back of the mat. Could you roll your biceps forward and your triceps back here? So if you're doing that right, the elbows should point back in some capacity, and you get that external rotation in your arms. For 3. For 2, unlock your big toes on 1 and inhale, flat back. Tadasana. Slide your hands underneath your feet. So you're trying to bring your toe tips up into your wrist creases. And I'm going to ask you to externally rotate your shoulders again. So find that sensation of biceps forward and triceps back. And it's not going to be as pronounced as a lot of the external rotation we've done so far today. For 3, 2. Take your hands out from underneath your feet on 1 and inhale, flat back. Hands on your hips, squeeze the elbows together and come all the way up to stand. Step your right foot to the back of the mat, please. Parallel your front foot with the front edge of your mat and measure out your stance and straddle so that your hands and wrists are right over the feet and the ankles. Setting up for warrior 2 at the back of the room. Turn your right toes towards the original back of the mat and reach the index fingers away from one another. Bend into the front knee more, but then straighten out the back left leg more. Keep going down with your hips. And on your next inhale, reverse tip back. Extended side angle with the right hand inside of the right foot today. Reach your left arm forward so the bicep is by your ear. And if you need a modification, like if you're having a hard time keeping your hand on the floor, grab a block, you guys. Lean your left shoulder back. Keep turning your chest up into the ceiling so there is a twist happening in the upper body. But then hug the outer right hip in more. Inhales, lengthen. And on your exhale, please come up into a warrior 2. And straighten out the front right leg. So parallel your feet once again. Keep your legs in straddle. Find an interlace at your lower back. Press your feet down. Reach your knuckles low. Inhale your chest up. And as you exhale, take it to your straddle fold. So there's a soft bend in each of your elbows. Reach the knuckles straight up into the ceiling. And then once you have found that length, reach your knuckles forward to rinse out your shoulders. One more breath. And then on your exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale, flat back. Walk your hands to the right and come into a plank pose. So at this point, you should be facing what is normally the back of your room. Keep your left hand down and meet me in side plank. So the right arm will go up. Roll your left bicep forward. Reach your heels back and imagine someone's pulling you up to the ceiling by the right wrist. Inhale the top arm forward. And as you exhale, plank to Chaturanga, Vinyasa. Meet me in downward facing dog and take 5 rounds of breath. So don't change your position. Like you're facing what's normally the back of the mat. And just be okay with the fact that you are not where you normally are in your yoga practice. Full breath in. On empty, look forward. Bend into the knees, hop, spring, or step to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back, please. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand, Urdhva. And then keep this length, come into Tadasana with your arms by your sides. Step your left foot to the back of the mat, please. Parallel your feet, measure out your stance so the hands and wrists are over the feet and the ankles. And set up for warrior two facing the front of the room. So your left toes point straight ahead. Your back right toes turn slightly in and up the mat. Your legs, your hips go down to the floor. And then lift up through the belly and the ears just as much as you're going down with your legs and your hips. Inhale, reverse, tip back. Extended side angle with the left hand inside of the left foot. Maybe you shorten your stance a little bit as you go from warrior two to this extended side angle stance. But eventually reach the top arm forward. So I like to shorten my stance as I go from warrior two to extended side angle because I think it will help you just stand better in your feet. I think it'll help you put equal weight distribution through your front foot, but also your back foot. Inhales, lengthen. And as you exhale, come up, warrior two. Straighten out the front left leg. Parallel your feet, measure out your stance. And then go for the interlace at the lower back. But this time, bring the opposite thumb on top. So your grip should feel a little weird. Reach your knuckles low. Press your feet down. Inhale your heart up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold. So it's a soft micro bend in each of the elbows. Your knuckles reach straight up into the ceiling. And then once you feel like you've gone up as high as you can go up, then go forward with the arms. So the forward position, it's an end goal, right? Not necessarily like your default where you should be starting. One more breath. Hands on the floor as you exhale. Inhale, flat back. And on your exhale, walk your hands to the left and step into a plank pose. So keep your right hand down. And let's come into a Vashisthasana side plank. Reach the left arm up. Roll your right bicep forward. Externally rotate. Reach your heels back. Inhale the top arm forwards. Exhale, plank to Chaturanga, Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And breathe. All right. Step your right foot forward and come into runner's lunge. Place your right hand on top of your right thigh. And come into a prayer twist facing the right side of the room. So we've done this already today. And that being said, maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you don't go any further. But if you want a little bit more, put your left hand on the floor or block outside of the right foot and open your twist. If you'd like to do something with the eyes, maybe the left eyeball finds the right thumb. Press the left hand down to get broader across your chest. Inhale, swim the top arm forward. And on your exhale, supported warrior 3. Put your hands on blocks, maybe the floor, and float the back left leg up into the ground. So again, put some more weight into your hands, so you can straighten out the left leg more and hug the outer right hip in. Eventually, begin to set up for a more conventional warrior 3 with the arms out in front of you. Lift the arms and the left leg higher. Inhales, lengthen. Keep the left leg lifted. On your exhale, pendulum it down, pendulum it forward, pendulum it up. Come into an Utthita A, pause and hold. Stand up straight. Keep your arms lifted. Turn your chest to the left side of the room. So you're in this one-legged standing twist. And it's an honest twist. You can't really use your arms here to turn to the left side of the space. Hold the pose and reach the arms out left and right to a T. And then step it back, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana B. Inhale, reverse your triangle for just a moment. Rebend into the front right knee, extended side angle. Put your right hand inside of the right foot. And then option to go for a half or potentially a full bind. So if you're going for the full bind, the right arm weaves up and underneath the front right leg. Your heart center is turning up to the ceiling, and the outer right hip carves underneath you. 2 more breaths, equal weight distribution between your 2 feet on the floor. Inhale, plank pose is the exhale. Step the right foot next to the left foot. Left hand stays down for your side plank. Reach the right arm up. If you'd like to add on, step the right foot behind you and go for your wild thing. And if you took the back bend here today, press the right foot down to lift the hips up high. Inhale, reach the right arm forwards. Exhale is plank to Chaturanga. Vinyasa, downward facing dog. Uh-oh, I got comfortable there for a minute, guys. Down dog. I promise, after we do this standing series, we're going to take a break. And like, allow that little nugget of information to be the wind in your sails. Step the left foot forward and come into a runner's lunge. Right? Like, you know there's a break coming up and you say to yourself, I can do this. Put the left hand on top of your left thigh. And find your prayer twist to the left. Connect the right elbow outside of the left leg. And maybe, probably, you need to pull your belly in to some extent to get your chest to turn. And if this was good for you before, maybe the right hand finds the floor, maybe a block, left arm goes skywards. The right hand presses down to lift across the chest and the left arm to the ceiling. Maybe you can look up. Right eyeball finds the left thumb. And meanwhile, the right leg is as straight as it can be. Inhale the top arm forwards to your supported warrior 3. Float the back right leg up into the floor and use your block hands to set up this pose well. Straighten out the right leg more and turn the right toes down to the floor. Lift your shoulders, lift your belly, and eventually begin to reach the arms out in front of you. So you have Urdhva Hastasana arms reaching the fingertips forward. And you have 3-legged table leg reaching the right heel back. 1 One more, inhales, lengthen. Keep the right leg lifted, pendulum it down, pendulum it forward, pendulum it up. And then with the arms up and overhead, begin to twist. Begin to turn to the right side of the room. Stand up taller. Reach the ears up higher. Keep turning a little bit more. Reach your arms out left and right to a T, so it's like you're in Warrior Two in the upper body. And then step it back, Virabhadrasana A, Warrior Two. For a moment, inhale, reverse your triangle pose. Rebend into the front left knee. Put the left hand inside of the front left foot. Extended side angle. Reach the right arm up. And then maybe you go for a half. Or if it's appropriate, go for the full bind. So the thing I want you to avoid when you're binding is this. And you see in this position, I've lost extended side angle. My chest is collapsing. My butt is sticking out. If going for the bind means you come out of the foundation itself, do less. Inhale. Plank pose is the exhale. Step the left foot next to your right foot. Keeping your right hand on the floor, Vashisthasana side plank, reach the left arm up. And then if you did this before, step the left foot behind you and lift your hips up high. So the left foot presses down. The right bicep is forward. Inhale. Exhale is plank to Chaturanga. Vinyasa, downward facing dog, into a child's pose. Untuck your toes, sink your hips to your heels, and rest. You need to towel off, drink some water, take a moment here, you guys. I'm just going to check the time. Oh, good. Lots of time. Lots of time. This is great. And of course, if there's another place you would prefer to be that is not child's pose, then feel free to be in that place. But wherever you go, allow the intention to be just paying attention to your breath, paying attention to your body, paying attention to how you distribute weight and connect with the floor underneath you. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a car alarm going off outside. I apologize. For 5, 4, for 3, 2, make your way back to downward facing dog on 1. We're gonna do one more piece of standing series. It's gonna be super short, just 2 standing poses and then an option for an arm balance. Downward facing dog, send your hips up and back. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb. So your legs are in runner's lunge. There's a little bit of space between your 2 feet on the floor, so you're not on a tightrope. And then put your right hand inside of your right foot. I'll actually turn around because I think this is kind of a confusing twist if you don't see what's going on inside my leg. Flip your palm so that your fingertips point back and the heel of the hand lines up with the heel of the foot. And frankly, like you can see, at least I hope you can see, I have a block underneath my hand. And if you're anything like me and you have a hard time keeping your hand on the floor, you grab a block too. Put your left hand on your sacrum, the flat, bony part of your lower back, and look forward with your eyes. Imagine you're tracing a line up the front wall until the right eyeball is directly above you. Take some inventory with your left hand. Make sure that your hips are still in that even squared position. And then if you're doing pretty good here, reach the left arm up into the ceiling. So you're opening up across your chest. Left butt to the left, right butt to the right. Left butt to the left, right butt to the right. Listen carefully. Inhale the left arm forward. Right into a revolved half moon pose. Grab a block, put it underneath your left hand, and float your left leg up into the air. Eventually, the right arm will go skywards. Press the left hand down like you would do in a side plank, so you can lift more across the chest and get the right arm higher to the ceiling. Lift and straighten the back left leg more, and take 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale. Forward fold is the exhale. Both feet and hands will find the floor. Inhale, flat back. And as you exhale, fold. Do that again. Inhale, flat back. Exhale is fold. Kasana, crow pose. Now, obviously, we've done a lot of work today, you guys. So if you want to do less, you could stay with this baby malasana shape. This is my favorite opt-out option for arm balancing. But if you're interested in the crow, come up high onto the balls of the feet. Put your knees on your triceps and hug your elbows together. If you want to try out a one-legged crow pose, can you pull the right knee into the belly? Maybe you can reach the right leg back, pressing your palms and left knee into the floor. And then eventually shoot back. Chaturanga, Vinyasa, to a downward facing dog. And I'm actually going to have you lower your knees for a second. I know I breezed through that explanation of one-legged crow. And frankly, that was kind of intentional, right? I've been using this cue a couple times today. In order to go up, you have to press something down. So in the case of crow, press your palms into the floor. Like that's it, right? One-legged crow, you're pressing your palms into the floor, but you're also pressing a knee into the tricep. So on that side, it was the right leg that lifted. So that means the left knee had to press forward into the tricep. And guys, if you want to play with this a little bit more, feel free to pause the video, work on it a little bit longer. And when you're ready to jump back in, downward facing dog. I hope that was helpful. Okay, last side. Get excited. Step your left foot forward and come into runner's lunge. Put your left hand inside of your left foot and flip the palm so the fingertips point back. Place your right hand on your sacrum, right around your lower back, and look forward with your eyes. Imagine you're tracing a line up the front wall until eventually the left eyeball goes skywards. Take the inventory with your right hand, left butt to the left, right butt to the right. And we're feeling pretty good today. Reach the right arm skywards. So your chest is getting sideways. And your hips continue to stay squared. Inhale, top arm forward. Revolved half moon pose. Grab your block, come up with control, and eventually reach the left arm up and into the ceiling. Press the right hand down as if you were doing a side plank. Lift and straighten the right leg more. And wrap the outer left hip back. Full breath in. And as you exhale, forward Fold. Both feet and hands find the floor. Inhale, flat back. Exhale is fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Kasana, crow pose. Plant your palms. Come up high onto the balls of the feet so you can get your knees in the backs of the triceps. Look forward, press your palms down, and squeeze the elbows together. So think biceps forward, triceps back. Press your right knee down. Can you lift the left leg off the arm? Ekapada Bakasana. Into your Chaturanga. Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And again, folks, if you want to do a little bit more, if you want to spend more time in these arm balances, feel free to pause the video. But we should lie down on our backs and do a couple back bends. And I'm only going to offer 2 today. And we did a lot of work in our shoulders. So I feel pretty good about offering a wheel pose right out the gate. We're all going to start with bridge. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the chest up high. Press your feet down and lift your hips up, bridge pose. If you're interested in wheel pose here today, reach the arms up and overhead and bring your hands out wide to frame your face. Inhale, come up onto the crown of the head first. And as you exhale, wheel pose. Straighten out your arms. Press your feet down and forwards like you could slide the yoga mat out from underneath you and breathe. Full breath in. And as you exhale, lower the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, the hips, and eventually the tailbone. And take a moment, reconnect with the breath. And then we'll do one more. Setting up for bridge pose. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, feet press down, hips lift high. If you're interested in that wheel pose, reach the arms overhead. Place your hands out wide to frame your face. Inhale, come up onto the crown of the head first. Wheel pose is the out breath for 8 breaths if possible. And really just focus on your breath. Because I think back bends is probably one of the most common places that we forget to breathe. When you're over it, make your way back to the floor. And let's find Supta Baddha Konasana with the legs. Feet together, knees out wide. And then do whatever feels right with the hands and the arms. Maybe reach the arms overhead to help create some space between your shoulders and your hips. Or maybe if you're looking for more of a grounding sensation, you place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. So make sure you have one block to the left and to the right of your mat second highest height. Straighten the right leg in front of you and hug the left knee into the belly. We're going to set up for a supported twist. Scoot your hips over to the left. The left leg crosses the body, and eventually the left shin, I don't know if you can see that, I hope you can, is resting on top of the block, just like that. So both of your shoulders stay down. And if it doesn't bother the neck, your gaze goes over your left hand. Again, just come back into your breath. Slowly make your way back to your center. And then second side, hug your right knee into the belly, straighten your left leg in front of you. Scoot your hips off to the right, and then find your supported cross-legged twist to the left. So the right leg crosses the body, and the right shin, the right calf finds the brick. The right arm extends to the side, and if it doesn't bother the neck, your gaze goes over the right hand. Make your way back through center. And let's do this. Let's set up for a plow pose. So really any sort of inversion with the legs here. Maybe you take Viparita Karani with a block or a bolster under your sacrum. Maybe you take your legs up the wall. Lift your legs up. And if you're taking it to plow, I'll walk you through it. Try to tap your feet to the back of the mat. If you want support, place your hands on your lower back. And if you know shoulder stand, you could do shoulder stand instead. So a lot of options here. And whatever option you're feeling the most today is probably the right one. Of course, if this bothers your neck, I would recommend I would recommend legs up the air instead with block, bolster, or maybe a wall. Stay where you are. And take about 5 more rounds of breath. And then after your third or fourth round of breath, start to think about making your way into Shavasana. And eventually make your way into Shavasana. And if you have the time to rest with me today, I'll offer you a 3-minute Shavasana. If you want longer, you could always just turn off the computer. If you want shorter, you can take shorter. Make this your own. Take what you need. Once you've settled down into your stillness, take one more full belly breath. Open up the mouth, exhale, clear it away. No more work. No more effort. Shavasana. Start to deepen the breath. And start to invite some smaller movements back into the body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, the hands, and eventually the feet. Slowly begin to bend into your knees, step your feet onto the floor. And hug the knees into the belly. Keeping your eyes closed. And using as little effort as possible, please make your way up into a comfortable seat facing your monitors, facing the front. To seal in your practice, please bring your hands to a prayer position at your heart. Guiding the thumb knuckles up and in to your sternum, please invite a full breath in. Open up the mouth, exhale, clear it away. Knuckles to your forehead, your third eye center. Thank you for sharing your practices with me today. Go in peace. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. That is it for me for today. As always, like if you guys have questions, comments, or even feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And that's it, you guys. I hope you guys had fun. I hope to see you soon. And thank you so much. Bye.